Hey YouTube, it's Jamie. Smoking in my carport. It's hot out today here in Phoenix, but I got the misters on. You could see them. Smoking my Dr. Graybo Omega and I got a little wind cap on it because there's a breeze coming through here. And I get paranoid about getting a burnout, because if I don't know, I've read on message boards and stuff like that if you really get the wind whipping through your pipe, it can make the ember really hot and it could burn out the chamber of your pipe. Anybody ever had that happen? I'd be interested in hearing if anybody has experience with that. Hey, but this is really a VR. I'm smoking Union Square GLPs. But this is a VR to Chris. Brutal enough over there in Austria. Who was talking about pipe smoking ritual. The ritual of smoking a pipe. And being conscious of that, or at least this is what I took from it, being conscious of that ritual, being deliberate about the sacra, these instruments that we use for our sacred substance, our sort of, in some sense, entheogenic substance, right? Entheogenic in that if let's say if God is immanent, if the Spirit is immanent in everything, then the Spirit is immanent in the tobacco, which makes it our sacred substance. And certainly in the whole pipe smoking world, the tobacco is the sort of prized element, right? Of course, the instrument, the pipe, the instrument to smoke the tobacco is also important, of course, to the ritual, but so is the meager wind cap or the check tool, the lighter. So to be conscious of bringing around your bag, this paraphernalia, even regalia sometimes, like they used to have smoking jackets, Pipe smoking is a highly ritualized affair. Here's what I guess my ritual looks like. My first thing is, inspiration. I feel like having a pipe, that feeling sets upon me. It is not generated by a want of nicotine, because I do not have a nicotine addiction. It's not an addiction. I don't have an addiction to nicotine. So that's not what's driving the sort of impetus to pipe smoking. It's not some urge to satiate. To satiate, is that a word? Satiate? Some craving. It's not a craving. It's an inspiration. So then I usually go to my my pipe shelf where I have all my tobaccos and all my pipes, and I look to see what inspires me. I don't know if I'm feeling for an English, a Balkan, a Virginia, or Virginia Perique. Who knows? A Burley, an aromatic, rarely. But I wait for inspiration to strike. Then I choose a tobacco. Then I choose an appropriate pipe that I know works well with that tobacco. That's still something I'm learning. Certain pipes like certain tobaccos and vice versa, I think, you know. So usually I start with the tobacco I want to smoke, and then I select the appropriate instrument. All part of a ritual. This is all ritual, right? And then I have my instrument selected, I have my tobacco selected, and I grab just tools of the trade, right? Which are the check tool, the lighter, sometimes the wind cap if I feel like I need it. I always pair with some sort of beverage, usually tea, usually black tea. Sometimes coffee, but usually black tea. I usually lay out a towel when I'm here in the carport. I have one now. I don't want to pick up the camera, but I have a towel laid out, and I put this, just one of our old towels that we don't use on our bodies anymore. And I lay out that towel. The reason why is because I usually end up wiping my pipes off and wiping the stem off and getting like resonated tobacco on it. So I can't, my wife, certainly doesn't want me using our nice towels. So I lay everything out. Merely packing the pipe is ritualistic, right? Do you fold and stuff? Do you fully rub out a flake, or do you have a ribbon cut that you just do a 3-fold pack in there? You know how some people do a gravity pack, and then the second pack they press a little bit more, and then the third one they pack it pretty tight, or they put sort of a plug at the top. I've done that one before. I've done a lot of different packing methods before, as we all have, and certain tobaccos lend themselves to certain packing methods, right? It's really interesting. I appreciate Chris for bringing this up, because now I am thinking about those elements of ritual. And a ritual, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, yeah, and then packing, lighting, of course, the charring light, and then the tamp. And then the true light again. And the cadence. Sometimes people will get into a slow, meditative sort of kind of a breath method, maybe. I find myself inadvertently doing the breath method, or sort of unconsciously doing the breath method sometime. Just sitting there with the pipe, not necessarily clenching, maybe holding the pipe, but thinking about something. Breathing in and out through my nose, and then, filling the mouth with cool, dry smoke, as they say. The purpose, though, as is the purpose with maybe all ritualism, right? The purpose is to go for its liminality, liminal spell, a rite of passage, ritual, rite of passage. So Arnold van Gennep, the anthropologist from about 100 years ago maybe, he coined the term rite of passage, and he was talking about rites of liminality. Victor Brock, I think his name who was another, I think it was Victor Brock, was another anthropologist who talked about rites of liminality, and that means a threshold, that you go from one state to another, that it is literally a sort of a transformation, that a ritual transforms experience. And sometimes it's just about being present, being in the moment, and appreciating your selection of tobacco. Other times it's about thinking, letting your mind wander, providing a space, another liminal concept providing a space for inspiration or for contemplation. Yeah. Anyway, interesting subject, Chris. I'll tag you in this so you could see it, but these are kind of my thoughts on ritual and pipe smoking.